As time goes by, it looks like we're getting closer and closer to the truth about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Most recently, James Mangold admitted that there were indeed alternate endings for the film that he had originally planned. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos. With that out of the way, let's take a look at this. This is over at thatparkplace.com. Wrote this up earlier this morning. Headline reads Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny director James Mangold confirms he originally planned a different ending, previously denied shooting multiple endings. So there is a little bit of a caveat here. He can still be telling the truth. By noting that he only denied shooting multiple endings, but we now have confirmation that there were indeed multiple endings planned. So, in an interview with Gizmodo's Germain Lucier, one of the individuals who received the statement canceling Gina Carano by Lucasfilm, he talked with Mangold, and Mangold told him, "When I came on the movie, they had been playing with a bunch of different things, which were basically just reduxes of what had happened in the first movie, just more apparitions and ghosts. And I felt like I was just watching the first movie over again when I envisioned what was in the existing scripts." And I felt like what Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and Larry Kasdan and David Cope as well had done successfully in the other films was to keep kind of pulling up a rock on a different aspect of history and metaphysics and not going back to the same thing. In a way, I didn't want to do the kind of, is it a Death Star again? From there, Mangold detailed one of his original ideas for the ending of the film was to have Indiana Jones return to Nazi Germany in 1938. He said, "When we did start writing, it was my theory that at first that we would end up back in Nazi Germany in 1938." He then explained why he felt that did not work. He said, "As we got there, it started occurring to me that A, that's what the audience is going to be anticipating, and therefore not very surprising to them, and B, we'd be plunged just back into the opening of the film, only with a 79-year-old Indy running around. I felt we needed something more shocking, something bolder, and something that also affected Indy. If he had gone back to Nazi Germany, he would simply be a hero trying to stop Waller from doing his plan. If he ended up where he does end up in the film, he was going to be facing bigger questions about his own life and what he studied all his life. And I thought that was going to be more interesting. And also, usually, bolder is better if you can do it." So clearly, Mangold admitting that they had at least multiple endings. Obviously, whatever the ending that Spielberg and all of those had cooked up before Mangold joined in. And then obviously this ending here, he's revealing where they return to Germany rather than going to wherever they went back in the ancient past. It was like some battle with the Romans or whatever. And then he obviously returns back to New York. But this admission that there were more endings, I think, does fuel the idea that the early rumors from YouTubers Overlord DVD, WDW Pro, and the Daily Mail were indeed true. Obviously, they have a little bit of a different thing, but we'll go through this. Overlord DVD previously shared back in June 2021. Two endings are supposedly being considered in the script. I guess they've been written, and they are going to shoot both of them. Both endings allegedly have old Indiana Jones dying at the end of this movie. But in one of the rumored endings, young Indiana Jones dies alongside old Indiana Jones, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge swoops in like a vulture, picks the hat up, and takes his place moving forward. Obviously, there that ending is Indiana Jones dying. No confirmation of that from Mangold, but I feel like as time goes by, I think we're going to see more and more that maybe these rumors were indeed true. Then we got the separate rumor from the Daily Mail in September 2021. They wrote Phoebe Waller-Bridge is being tipped to replace a veteran actor as a female version of the fictional professor of archaeology in the adventure movie franchise. An anonymous source told the outlet's Katie Hind it would be a huge statement and a great role for Phoebe. Another source said the gospel on the set is that this character will slot into the leading role. Then Overlord DVD shared another rumor in November 22 and claimed there were actual six endings. He said, "We've been told out of the six endings they tested, the best one gets a 35% approval from test audiences. We've been told that Bridge put the hat on in every ending," obviously referring to Phoebe Waller Bridge there. And then furthermore, he said, "All my spies actually said it was Phoebe Waller Bridge, puts on Indy's hat, takes Indy's whip, and in a brave and stunning display of girl power, she becomes the bestest Indy ever at the end of all six versions of the movie." Mangold denied the rumors of Indiana Jones being replaced in December 2022. This is what he posted to X. He said, "One more time, no one is taking over or replacing Indy or donning his hat, nor is he being erased through some contrivance. And he never was not in any cut or script, but trolls will troll. That's how they get their clicks." He continues saying, "And please don't exhaust me pointing out how once in a while a troll is right. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut now and then. All one has to do is look at set photos and interviews, and you get enough info to make wild guesses about a movie plot. The difference between trolling a-holes and everyone else is they are trying to make money off your feelings about other films and culture war politics. They push controversial guesses as coming from sources to gin up clicks. Let it go. And however, later in that same month of December, the film's composer John Williams revealed that the film was indeed going to shoot another ending. This is what John Williams said. Let's take a listen.
Here are three pieces from Indiana Jones 5. I thought we would be finished with Indiana Jones after 4. You know Harrison Ford. You all know who Harrison Ford is. And Harrison is 78 years old, but he's much younger than I am. But I thought, if he can do 5 of them, I have to try to do the 5. So we have just about completed the film. We have maybe another ending to shoot and to record maybe in a couple of weeks.
So there you have it, John Williams saying that we have maybe another ending to shoot and to record, maybe in a couple weeks, implying that this is a separate ending from what they had already previously shot and recorded. Mangold would react to Williams' comments, claiming he was mistaken. This is what he wrote on X. John was mistaken, maybe read Twitter too much. We're not shooting new endings, never did. The film is 99% finished and being rated by MPAA. This imagined zany ending with Indy being erased and replaced is a fever dream of wounded folks angry about other films I did not make. He was then pressed on it, and he said that Williams was joking, mistaken, or misinformed, and that they're not shooting another ending. He said, not happening. And then again, responding to another user on X, he said, I agree that he's one of the greatest composers in the history of film and also one of the most lovely people on earth. And he's fully informed. So he went from saying he's misinformed to fully informed within 20 minutes. So who knows what exactly James Mangold was really trying to communicate there. By June 2023, more evidence emerged from Harrison Ford indicating that the ending was reshot. He spoke to Spanish language outlet Espinoff, where he revealed that he and Karen Allen filmed the ending of the film. That was the last thing they shot together. Let's take a listen to what Harrison Ford had to say here.
We did a little work on the ending, which was the last thing that I shot with Karen Allen, who has been a substantial part of the whole thing, but appears in
So there you go. The last thing that he shot was indeed the ending of the film with Karen Allen. Interestingly, those comments from Ford, Mangold would contradict them in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. Just like a little bit later after this interview came out from Ford, he said, yeah, Jez and John Henry Butterworth came up with that when we came up with the idea of Marion coming back at the end. That idea came to Jez and John Henry pretty early and was pretty brilliant. And we shot it pretty early because we shot Karen's scenes in the second or third month of production, and the power of her coming in really landed. I mean, it landed more when I could see the whole journey and getting to that scene and bringing those two together. He then concluded saying, but Karen literally came to set and worked 2 days. She landed and just dropped in, and the chemistry between her and Harrison was, of course, immediate. It's something that they had developed over many years. So clearly that's contradicting what Harrison Ford is saying, is the last thing that he shot with Karen was the ending, where Mangold here is saying that they shot it pretty early on. We did get this comment from Karen Allen when she spoke to Variety about what her experience was like on the film's production. She says, I think I was shooting for 2 days, but they wanted me to come out early and have plenty of time to play with the costume designer. We decided to put me in a gray wig that had been built for me, but James and I hadn't seen it. So I came out about 2 weeks early. It was nice because I hung out on the set a bit and got to watch them shooting and got to meet everyone. You know, Phoebe was there, and John Rice Davies and Harrison and that lovely young man, Ethan and Isidore. It just gave me a chance to move back into that world a little bit without just jumping onto the set to shoot. So she doesn't really contradict what Mangold is saying, but she also doesn't really confirm exactly what he's saying other than the 2 days. So it's unclear when exactly she was there. We don't know if she was there early on or if it was indeed the final thing that she did. Then in July, we got this rumor from WW Pro, where he provided specific details about Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character that not only would take Indiana Jones' hat, but the franchise over as well. He detailed Indiana Jones was going to be lying on the grass with Archimedes there, but he was going to convince Phoebe Waller-Bridge to leave him there and save Teddy and the others, go back through time. They could not take him with them, and he would give her his hat, tell her it's time for her adventures, yada, yada, yada. She and Teddy and the other gentlemen that are there then attempt to escape through a very significant action sequence, and they go through the time rift. And then you find that she, after going back to the original date, that she would have learned her lesson in the final scene, where she is no longer out to make money off of these artifacts, but instead she's working to get them to museums where they belong. So that was kind of one of the original endings that they allegedly had shot, according to WDW Pro and his sources. Interestingly, I didn't include this in this article, but we did get Kathleen Kennedy saying that it was possible that Phoebe Waller-Bridge could continue the Indiana Jones franchise, obviously playing up a lot of these rumors as well. So I think there's a lot of evidence that these rumors are indeed true. And I think as time goes on, we're getting more and more comments indicating, providing more evidence that they are true. But I'll leave it to you guys. What do you make of James Mangold's recent comments saying that there were indeed alternate endings that he looked at and that he actually was planning for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny? Let me know in the comments below.